welcome to another episode of the Purple Coloured Glasses. I'll be going through my tips for round 7 and how I think Freo will go against the Cats this week. Just a short forewarning, I'm recording this earlier in the week because I'm going to be away, so this is based off things we know as of Tuesday. So if you're watching this and you're like, some of that's not up to date, it's because I've recorded it a bit earlier. So let's get into the tips. So first game up is West Coast against Richmond at Optus Stadium on Friday night. West Coast have been pretty poor so far this year, and Richmond haven't been much better. I finally got a tip right involving Richmond, tipping the D's to beat them last week. Dusty's back training, but I don't think he'll get up for this game. I think the Tigers will be too good for West Coast. They just look like they haven't really found any form at all. There's rumours there's going to be some more COVID outs leading into this game, so I'm going to be going for the Tigers in this one by a fairly comfortable margin of 28 points. Then moving into the game that interests me as the Freo fan the most, Geelong against Freo down at GMHBA Stadium Saturday morning. Freo typically don't play that well in the early slot. I think it's a bit of the time zone difference. If we look at the head-to-head between the two teams at Simmons Stadium or GMHBA, it's not the happiest of hunting grounds, but we've also had some memorable wins there. The 2013 qualifying final, where we got over the Cats there and booked our first ever home prelim that led us to a grand final. That was a long time ago, 2013, not much of that team's remaining. I think the only guys that played in that game that are still on the list are Michael Walters and maybe Nat Fyfe, but he's not playing in this game. I think that was everyone. So we then played them in 2014, and I'm only looking at the games played away. I'm not looking at the home results, and Geelong have been pretty good playing over in Perth as well. So in 2014, we lost to Geelong narrowly. Then 2015, we beat them quite comfortably. 2017, we lost by 2 points. Not one of our stronger teams, but Michael Walters missed a goal sort of as the siren was sounding. It wasn't a mark, I think it was like a play on. He snapped and it just missed. So Geelong won that game. Then they absolutely smoked us in 2018. They piled on 24 goals. I think they kicked 20 odd unanswered. It's our worst ever run of goals conceded, and they beat us 158 to 25. So some pretty bad memories there, and I think that was the last time we played it. Yeah, it was. So last year they also came over to Perth and absolutely thumped us, and they made our midfield look small and uncompetitive. We only kicked 3 goals for the game. So recent experience has been great against the Cats. We only kicked 3 goals against them last year, and in Perth, and 2 goals the year before that. That was the COVID impacted year, so that was a 48 to 16 score line. So I don't think it's that indicative. We did kick 3-13 last year, so there were some opportunities we missed and could have kicked a few more. I think this year it's really key that we just get off to a good start against Geelong. Don't let them put on a 5 or 6 goal gap on us and we're trying to catch up all day. I will be tipping the Cats in this one. I think they'll be just a bit too strong on their home deck. I do think we have good matchups for them in terms of Pearce on Hawkins and Cox on Cameron or Griffin Logue. It'll be interesting to see how they do that. They might put Logue on Cameron and just free up Cox to be more of an interceptor. I think that's how they'll go, because I think Pearce likes playing a bit close to goal, and that's where Hawkins will typically be. And Logue's more of that up the ground type, which Cameron likes roving around a bit. So I think those will be the matchups. I'm a bit worried about their intercept marking down back. That's still probably a weakness for us. Our entries, Tom Stewart could probably have a big day against us, and if we lose, it'll be one of their backmen having a really big game out against us. In terms of their midfield, Selwood's probably getting close to the end, and Dangerfield looks a bit banged up. But I have memories of guys like Cam Guthrie just absolutely tearing us to shreds. Will Brodie will need to be up to his best, and Lloyd Meek will come in for Sean Darcy. I think if we keep this within sort of 4 or 5 goals, we don't lose too much going away to Geelong. A lot of good teams will lose there. They have a really good record in Geelong. Brisbane have already gone there and lost this year. So, and Melbourne only got over them after the siren last year to finish top of the table. So they're a good team, Geelong in Geelong. And I'm just looking forward to seeing how we're going to go against one of the better teams on their home deck. Then next up, we got Adelaide against the Giants. I'll be going for Adelaide in this one. Maybe this is the game the Giants finally wake up. It's definitely an opponent they could do it against. Adelaide's not one of the strongest teams in the comp, but they have been performing well. They're 3-3. They win this one. They get ahead of the ledger, where many people probably didn't have them at the start of the year. So I'll be going Adelaide in this one at home. We then got Melbourne against Hawthorn. Hawthorn pretty disappointing against the Swans, I thought. They started really well, but that final quarter just faded out and Swans blew them away. Not a great result for Hawks. D's have just looked so strong, had many opportunities to absolutely blow Richmond away, and weren't really that troubled, so I see them accounting for Hawthorn quite easily in this game. Then got Saints up against Port Adelaide in Cairns. I was tempted to tip Port Adelaide in this one. Maybe there's a bit of confidence going through the team now. They've got Rosie running through the middle and they look a bit more dynamic. But I think the Saints just look more even all around the ground. I don't think they have a great matchup for Max King, who kicked poorly last week at goal. I don't think he'll kick poorly at goal 2 weeks in a row. So I'll be tipping the Saints to get up in this one. And then the final game on Saturday is Carlton against North Melbourne. I think Carlton get the bounce back factor against North, who have been pretty uncompetitive this year. I think the Blues will deal with North Melbourne quite easily. And then the Sunday games, so we've got the Pies up against Gold Coast. I think Gold Coast came over and won this game last year. But I don't see them doing it this year. I think Pies coming off a good win against the Bombers, just re-establishing some confidence, I think, in the side, because they've been close in a couple of games this year and they've kind of let it slip away. So it was good for them to win a closer game on the weekend or a Monday, and I think they'll continue that on against Gold Coast. Then got the Doggies up against the Bombers on Sunday. The second game on Sunday. Doggies haven't been travelling that well, and the media pressure is just piling on Essendon. You think, when are they going to pull out a performance? And maybe it's this week against the Doggies, who aren't travelling that well. The Dogs, they've got a really good midfield on paper, but they're probably matched by Adelaide last week, and Adelaide really took it to Essendon. So I'll be going with the Dogs on this one, but I'm not really convinced at all by the way the Dogs are playing at the moment. And then the last game of the round, pretty tight. It's probably the match of the round. Sydney against Brisbane at the SCG. I'll be going for Brisbane in this one. It's a pretty tight game. Sydney are playing quite well. I haven't tipped them much this year, and they've proved me wrong many a time, and they might do so again on Sunday. But I think Brisbane have just been travelling really well, banking the wins. They didn't perform as they would have liked last time they travelled away against Geelong, and I think they'll be penciling this one in as we need to really stamp ourselves on the comp and show that last time out was not our best performance, and we can really flex our muscles against Sydney. So I think it'll be a tight game, maybe only a couple of goals in it, but it will be a good one to watch, definitely last game of the round. Anyway, let me know what you think of your tips, of my tips, and let me know how you think some of the games will go this week, and thank you all for tuning in. Thanks, everyone. Catch you later.